Indie Mogul.
This weekend, viewers descended on movie theaters to see 2012 like a giant tsunami. Just how much damage was done? Let's find out with some movie math. And 2012 wasn't just the #1 movie of the weekend, but its box office gross reached Mount Everest proportions. Roland Emmerich's disaster movie grossed $65 million here in the United States, the biggest debut for a movie this year since Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. And my Facebook friend Riley Quinn totally called it. The worldwide numbers are even more impressive as across the globe, 2012 took in $220 million, making it the 9th biggest international debut ever. But amid all this celebrating, if we take a step back, we'll notice this opening is a little less than Emmerich's The Day After Tomorrow, which opened with $68 million in 2004. Worldwide, that movie went on to gross $544 million, so if 2012 continues to do a little less than The Day After Tomorrow, Sony will still be very, very happy. Emmerich has said 2012 will be his last disaster movie, yet those are the only movies he makes that are hugely successful at the box office. I don't think anyone wants to see another movie along the lines of The Patriot or 10,000 BC. As for John Cusack, this is quite simply by far and away the most successful movie he's ever been in. As for you, audiences were majorly split on this movie, some of you loving it and some of you hating it. I asked you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 and you gave it a 7, a point and a half lower than 8.5 audiences gave it on Friday's episode of Beyond the Trailer. And now for the one-sentence review challenge results. Here's the top 5, and number 1 will be getting a free pair of AMC movie tickets. In 5th place is Bradley Smith 1996, who asks, did the Mayans also predict this movie would suck? 4th place, XDCJX goes a little further, pointing out that it's sad how people can make money off people's irrational fears with a movie that is purely special effects. But 3rd place, Tony P. the Movie Man saw it differently, calling 2012 bigger, louder, crazier, and more wildly exhilarating than anything previously attempted. And runner-up Cousins Pecker LOL agreed, adding, it was probably the most epic use of CGI ever. And the winner of the 2 free movie tickets, Lods321, simply said, so good, I almost believed it. And in 2nd place is A Christmas Carol with $22.3 million in its 2nd weekend. The Jim Carrey Robert Zemeckis holiday treat only dropped 26%, which was good news considering the film's debut was on the low side. A Christmas Carol is up to $63 million, just slightly under 2012's debut. But then 2012 might drop like a rock, while Carrey and Zemeckis could be caroling for weeks, all the way to the bank. The rest of the box office was a desolate place. While 3rd place went to George Clooney's The Men Who Stare at Goats, it dropped 51% from its debut last weekend to bring in a meager $6.2 million. Looks like Clooney is going to continue his track record of delivering box office grosses in the $30 to $50 million range. And Wes Anderson hopes that's true, as his movies rarely do that good. But his latest, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, starring George Clooney's voice, started off strongly this weekend as Anderson's faithful fans flocked to the 4 theaters where it debuted. That made for Anderson's 2nd highest debut ever after the Royal Tenenbaums. Yes, those are grosses in the hundreds of thousands. It's rough being an art house director. Elsewhere in the box office, while Precious isn't getting any love from home, audiences are going gaga over her. Expanding to 174 theaters, Precious shot up 225% to reach number 4 at the box office for a total of $8.9 million so far. And it will make oh so much more, as it's almost guaranteed that Precious will be huge this award season. That's all the way in January and February of next year. It might be hard to get yourself to go now, but eventually you will see Precious. And many of you have seen Couples Retreat and Paranormal Activity, as both crossed the century mark this weekend. As for Richard Curtis's British rock and roll radio period piece, it debuted at number 11 with $2.8 million. So while it's not sinking, it does appear to be a mere dinghy in the box office waters. I saw 2 movies this weekend, and I'll tell you all about them after the break.
I'll get you!
Hi, I'm Bobby Miller. This Thursday on The Real Good Show, we have the filmmakers behind Untucked Films and a talking dog. She does talk, though, right? And a talking dog! Watch The Real Good Show with Bobby Miller, new every Thursday on IndieMogul.com.
The first movie I saw this weekend was 2012, and man, what a great movie! And I'm someone who was really scared by apocalyptic predictions and all that junk. So yes, there were some parts of the movie that were very hard for me to watch, and that's because they were jaw-droppingly realistic, and also very well directed. Roland Emmerich did a great job putting you in the middle of the action while also far enough away to watch each spectacle unfold. To me, the special effects were very well done. The Los Angeles sequence felt just like a theme park ride, and it should totally be one. And I was invested enough in Emmerich's 2012 scenario that I would watch a spin-off TV series. I also thought the movie was very well cast, with not only likable characters, but one of the most diverse casts I've ever seen. And every demographic had good roles, except women. I couldn't believe it when, and I'm going to try not to give a spoiler here, the pilot told Gordon to go get the guys when there was a problem to discuss. So all the men deliberated on their next move while the women looked after the kids and took a nap. I thought this was 2012, not 1912. The other movie I saw this weekend was also excellent, but also had horrible roles for women. I didn't want to see pirate radio, but my parents did, so I went along, and I'm glad I did. Now, I don't know how much of this movie actually happened, but it is true that rogue radio stations broadcast rock and roll from international waters 24/7 in the 1960s when the British government would not allow it on the mainland. The ship is a boys' club, which I get, but when women did come aboard, they might as well be blow-up dolls for all the dialogue and character development they were given. But regardless, the movie is very entertaining with a genuinely thrilling and touching third reel. Richard Curtis's movies usually tend to be a little schlocky, but Pirate Radio is definitely one of his best. If you're into music, you'll especially enjoy it. Otherwise, you can wait for DVD, but I'd certainly check it out. As always, thanks for watching Movie Math, and I'll see you on Friday when Beyond the Trailer covers Twilight, New Moon, The Blind Side, and Planet 51. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some Movie Math.
Subscribe, comment, rate it.